Coming up this week on the Double T Insider, we look back at a special dedication that took place at the Jones AT&T Stadium. Red Raider football paid tribute to the Lone Survivor Foundation. Double T Insider's Brett Brown has the story. Red Raider soccer forward Janine Becky goes on the clock with Caitlin Kravick. Find out what celebrity Janine would love to have dinner with and her favorite TV show growing up. And later in the show, we kick it with head coach for Texas Tech football, Kliff Kingsbury. He shares more about the rest of the season and about the student section at the Jones. That and a whole lot more coming up this week, so keep it locked right here. This is the Double T Insider. Welcome into a brand new edition of the Double T Insider. I'm Erica Taylor alongside Justin Vincent, bringing you more access into Texas Tech athletics. And be sure to stick around for the whole show. Later, I go one-on-one with head coach Kliff Kingsbury.
The Red Raiders played their final home game of the season last weekend, and it was special for both the seniors and United States veterans. Double T Insider's Brett Brown has more on the dedication to the Lone Survivor Foundation.
Restore, empower, and renew hope in the lives of our wounded service members and their families. This is the mission of the Marcus Luttrell Lone Survivor Foundation. In 2010, former U.S. Navy SEAL Marcus Luttrell founded the Lone Survivor Foundation after the loss of fellow military members in the line of duty. Texas Tech honored the organization by hosting the Lone Survivor game against Kansas State.
Marcus Luttrell had some friends or family that went to Texas Tech, and so was very familiar with this university and picked us to do that Under Armour game. So we were very honored, and our players got to hear him speak and watch the movie, and so it was a great deal for our players to be a part of that.
At the game, over 400 Purple Heart recipients were honored for their service. This would go down as the largest official gathering of Purple Heart recipients in American history. Though this event was a special moment for Texas Tech fans, this game was equally emotional for the players as well.
Yeah, I think that just shows, like who are the real heroes are and who really gets the recognition out there. And think about, how thankful you have to be for those guys out there. And they do a great job, and they don't get the recognition like some people may see it as. And I'm sure grateful for what they do.
Over the week, players got to meet Marcus and learn his story. After spending time with him, they have a new appreciation for the sacrifices that are made by military members.
He's really an American hero. You see these superheroes and stuff on TV growing up, and that guy's a real hero, and just being in his presence, it was definitely a blessing this past weekend.
The coaching staff believe this event to be a great experience for the players. Coach Sonny Cumbie tells us how important the Lone Survivor game has truly been.
Yeah, it was unbelievable all last week, and just for our kids to really understand that it's more than just a design on a uniform. It's impactful, and I hope that it sits with us all for a long time, because it was watching the movie on Friday night, being around Marcus and his friends that he brought with him and just understanding that this is very important, what we do, but in the scheme of the world, they've got guys that sit in these meeting rooms that are over there defending our country. And so we get to play football, we get to practice, we get to have these, supplements and nice meals and travel well and all that. And those guys are over there fighting for our freedom.
This game, this story, and this organization have opened the eyes of many people. Texas Tech plays a small part in sharing the message of the Lone Survivor Foundation. And as always, remember to never quit. For the Double T Insider, I'm Brett Brown.
This week, we shine a light on Texas Tech basketball. Hear more from junior guard Luke Adams and what motivates him to be the best on the court. That and more inside our Red Raider Spotlight.
Luke Adams, I'm a junior. I'm from Big Spring, Texas. I'm a pretty easygoing guy. I just love basketball. I've been growing up playing it since I was little, and I'm pretty simple. I just go to class, go to school, and work on my game. I grew up playing ice hockey. That was kind of my main sport. I was probably better at that than any basketball really growing up. And then as I kind of grew up, I just knew if I wanted to be serious at something, if I wanted to get a scholarship or to make the college level at something, I thought basketball would probably be a better way for me. And my dad was coaching at the time, so I decided to stick with basketball. My freshman year, I was at TCU and I was shooting free throws, and the TCU crowd was chanting like Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez remarks and a bunch of stuff. They had a really rowdy crowd that night, and so at the end of the game, apparently one of our, Chris Level, or one of our analysts tweeted, TCU, fans heckle Texas Tech player, and so I didn't even see that until later, and the next morning I get out of my bed, I pull my computer up, and then I had the Yahoo as my front page, and pull it up, and it was like Justin Bieber's face on it, and then it said like Texas Tech player gets heckled for being deaf or something. And then at the end of the day, it had 2,500 comments on that photo. on that story. So it was pretty funny. Now, that's something that a lot of people don't know. It has its advantages and disadvantages. Things it taught me is, to really be thankful for what you have and to really just take advantage of what you can use. So I had to use my eyes more, and so that's something that people don't really recognize as much. Really look over at the coach more, or I can read the defense a little bit better than most people think, just because I really can't use my ears. Like if someone's telling me a screen's coming and I really can't hear, so I gotta use my head a lot more than most people do. But really it's probably helped me more than it's hurt me. I think it's really made my instincts even better in a way. You just can't, if you take no for an answer, then you're basically you're limiting yourself, and I think as kids growing up, or anyone, you just can't. If someone tells you no, then it's probably because they couldn't do those things themselves, or they don't think you can. But at the end of the day, it's really not about those people. It's about the people themselves, making the goals, and making themselves determined to do those things. And I think just growing up, like these kids, they can do whatever they want. There's probably a lot more kids that probably had better athletic ability than me, taller than me. And they could be in my shoes right now. But it just, I was really blessed, God put me in these situations and He helped me get through this way. But, there's really no excuse for anyone else, to not get to where they want to go. God inspires me a lot. You just have to really, take advantage of what you have, and that's the main thing. I think, hard work is, I listen to, I've heard Michael Jordan and these guys, the people that are really great, like Michael Phelps and, all these really great athletes, and there's a reason they're great. They get up in the morning. They're up there working out at 5 o'clock in the morning. They're doing these things, and they're the best. And so why are they doing those things? For me, if I'm not doing those things, then, how am I ever going to get to that level? I know I'm not going to get to that level, but at the same time, Kobe's getting up at 4:30 to go work out. Well, if I'm him, I need to be getting. If I'm Luke Adams, I probably need to get up at 1 in the morning. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things that. You just hard work, it'll get you places. I'm excited about just, giving the fans a new start. I think we have a chance to be pretty good this year, and I think we got a lot of the right pieces. And with Coach Smith, he's just a great coach, and he knows what he's doing. And I think I'm just ready for us to put all the past behind us and just start over new. And I think a lot of our guys feel the same way, and I think we're going to surprise a lot of people.
Stay tuned, because after the break, we're talking with head coach Kliff Kingsbury. And later, we go on the clock with Red Raider soccer player Janine Becky. But first, here's your Texas Tech trivia question of the week.
In their NCAA tournament debut last season, Texas Tech soccer had the third largest first-round crowd nationally inside the John B. Walker Soccer Complex. What was the total number of people that came out to support the Red Raiders at the first round of last year's NCAA tournament? Was it A, 1,034, B, 1,225, C, 1,783, or D, 2,019? The answer to the Texas Tech trivia question of the week will be coming up later in the show. Kick back and relax, because after the break we're coming back with more of the Double T Insider.
This is you. You want to be a director in Hollywood? Maybe you want to capture someone's attention on a 30-second spot. Maybe you'd rather be a social media manager, or you want to sit behind the World News desk. You can do that here at the College of Media and Communication at Texas Tech University with a degree in advertising, electronic media, journalism, media strategies, or public relations. From here, it's possible.
Welcome back to the Double T Insider. Get ready to kick it with Kliff. DTI's Erica Taylor talks with head coach Kliff Kingsbury about this year's football season. Check it out.
All right, Coach, there's still some football left. How have you been able to motivate your players to finish out the season strong, especially within the past few weeks?
Yeah, I think it's a good, resilient group. You know, they've been through a lot, been through coaching changes, and they know these last two are big games for us. So they've been great. They're excited to play this week, and it should be a fun game.
You know, when you're winning and everything's great, it's great for the coaches, great for the players and fans. But what about when things aren't going your way? What are the learning lessons you're able to pull from it, especially within the past few weeks?
Yeah, that's part of the game. Football has its ups and downs, and it's how you respond to it. And I think, like I said, this group's been through a lot as a team, and has won 7 games, which is the most they've won around here, you know, in the last few years, mostly seniors. So we're trying to get to 8 or 9 and see where that takes us.
Now, how have you been able to take on and embrace the head coach title role, especially from when you first started out as a assistant coach and quarterback coach for Houston, and then the offensive coordinator for Texas A&M? How has each of those roles helped you for the head coaching position now? Yeah,
they all kind of work your way up to it, but until you're in that seat, there's no real way to prepare for it, I don't think. There's so much administrative stuff that goes on each and every day, but it's still football once you get out to that practice field, and that's the part that I really love about it.
Now, I read in an article that you mentioned that being able to coach is just as fulfilling as being able to, it's just as fulfilling as being a player. So how is it like when you're seeing your young quarterbacks performing and when you're training them, and then, you know, how's it like for you, and do you ever get any flashbacks?
Yeah, I do. I have some, moments where like, wow, that, reminds me of me playing, especially when we're out there in Jones Stadium. But it's been great to watch these young guys progress and grow up and, have their ups and downs and help them through that. That's why I got in the business.
Okay, now the Jones AT&T Stadium has seen record numbers in attendance, general attendance, and especially students' attendance. What do you think about that when you're down on the field and you're seeing all the students get rowdy each game?
Yeah, it's been incredible for our players to have their peers in the stands cheering them on. There's nothing better as a student athlete, and it's meant a lot to this staff and this program, and so hopefully we can keep that tradition going, as long as I'm here.
And finally, when this season is over and you got this first season under your belt, what is something that you would like Tech fans to take away?
Just that this group, worked really hard, this group of players, and it's a group that they didn't sign up to play for this staff, and the way they've embraced us and their effort on the field is something that all Red Raiders should be proud of.
This week, we went on the clock with Texas Tech Soccer. Find out what Janine Becky's biggest pet peeve is and more.
Double T Insider here, and we're about to go on the clock with Janine Becky, a game where I give her 10 scenarios that she has to answer to the best of her ability, all within 60 seconds. All right, Janine, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, 60 seconds on the clock. All right, a celebrity I would love to have dinner with is?
LeBron James.
If I had superhuman powers, it would be to?
Fly.
When I'm driving alone in my car, my favorite song I love to listen to and sing along?
Round Here by Florida Georgia Line.
My favorite TV show growing up was?
Arthur.
Something I can't wait to cross off my bucket list is?
Ooh, skydiving.
If I won the lottery, the first thing I would buy would be?
A car.
Between my cell phone, computer, and TV, I could go a whole month without?
TV.
My biggest pet peeve is?
Not saying thank you.
My favorite cartoon character is?
That's a tough one. SpongeBob.
If I had to eat the same food for the rest of my life, it would be?
Ice cream.
Okay, how much time do you have? All right, you beat the clock. Congratulations. We just went on the clock with Janine Becky.
It's time to eliminate an answer from the Texas Tech Trivia question of the week. Earlier we asked, what was the total number of people that came out to support the Red Raiders at the first round of last year's NCAA tournament? Your options were A, 1,034, B, 1,225, C, 1,783, or D, 2,019. The answer that is not correct is A, 1,034. The correct answer to the Texas Tech Trivia question of the week will be coming up later in the show. Stay tuned, because there's more Double T Insider coming up after the break.
This is you. You want to be a director in Hollywood? Maybe you want to capture someone's attention on a 30-second spot. Maybe you'd rather be a social media manager, or you want to sit behind the World News Desk. You can do that here at the College of Media and Communication at Texas Tech University with a degree in advertising, electronic media, journalism, media strategies, or public relations. From here, it's possible.
Grab a pen and pad and get ready to take notes. Here's what's coming up on the schedule for Texas Tech Athletics.
Men's basketball will play 2 games at home this week. The Red Raiders will first host Texas Southern on Monday at the United Spirit Arena. Tip-off is set for 8 p.m. Then on Thursday, Tech basketball will face South Dakota State. The game is scheduled for 7 p.m. Saturday, women's basketball will host their 5th consecutive home game against Grambling State. Tip-off at the United Spirit Arena is scheduled for 2 p.m.
Lady Raider Volleyball looks to finish their season strong as they host Oklahoma on Wednesday. First set is scheduled to begin at 6 p.m. Saturday, the Red Raiders will travel to Lawrence, Kansas with a matchup against the Jayhawks. This will be the last away game of the season for Tech. First set is scheduled for 1 p.m. Saturday, Texas Tech Cross Country will be competing in their last event of the season. They will travel to Terre Haute, Indiana and participate in the NCAA Championships.
And finally, here's the answer to the Texas Tech Trivia question of the week.
It's time to reveal the answer to the Texas Tech Trivia question of the week. Earlier in our show, we asked, what was the total number of people that came out to support the Red Raiders at the first round of last year's NCAA tournament? Your options were B, 1,225, C, 1,783, or D, 2,019. The correct answer is C, 1,783. In Texas Tech's NCAA tournament debut last season, the John B. Walker Soccer Complex was filled with 1,783 Red Raider soccer fans. This has been your Texas Tech Trivia question of the week. If you didn't get this week's question right, don't sweat it. Next week we'll be back with more Texas Tech Trivia, along with another edition of the Double T Insider.
Well, that's a wrap for this week's show of the Double T Insider. Thank you so much for watching, and be sure to tune in on Wednesday for our weekly update in Texas Tech Athletics.
And as always, be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and search Double T Insider on YouTube to watch all of our episodes. For Erica Taylor, I'm Justin Vincent. Have a great week, everyone.